This is the Fantasy Roadshow.
What is up, all you roadies out there? Welcome into another episode of the Fantasy Roadshow with your boys here. You can call me Truck, and I'm joined, as always, by these two knuckleheads. We got Cole Sports and we got Shane O'Mac. And today we are talking Week 14, the final week of the regular season for fantasy football. We're talking about players we like, players we don't like, red light, green light. You guys get the deal. Before we get into that, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow us on all socials, and make sure you check out the Substack, thefantasyroadshow.substack.com. Boys, are you guys on the verge of not making playoffs in some leagues? Or are you guys locked in first place? What's the status update, Shane O'Mac? What do you got?
Pretty locked in except one league. It's a win to get in, but so that's like 1 out of 6. So I think, like Andy Reid said, like we are here this week to tickle your tonsils on every start. So.
What about you, Coles?
Yeah, actually, this is week 1 of the playoffs in one of the leagues that I'm an advisor.
Okay.
But yeah, so I know it's kind of weird. That's still bye weeks going on, and that is a playoff.
Yeah, we got some big names on buys this week too. Christian McCaffrey's on buy. That's
Drake
really
May.
the only Drake May. Yeah, a couple more. I'm in a league where they do the two week playoffs, and it ends on week 18. And I'm an advisor in that league as well, and I keep trying to tell them, like, dude, you got to talk to the commissioner. Can't be having fantasy playoffs contingent on week 18. So
if I'm not directly like managing or have direct communications to a league, I usually just don't even care. Like it is what it is. Whatever. I have a first round bye, so it doesn't matter for me anyways. But
yeah, that makes sense.
But yeah, mostly set. I know we're in our one league together. We're in first place. That's been locked in for a couple weeks, and we've just been like stashing defenses on our bench, which is always a good feeling, getting ahead of them.
Oh yeah,
I did absolutely. That too. Yeah, I picked up at a first round bye, so I picked up Buffalo for week 16.
Oh,
yeah,
who are they playing?
Just stacking up.
Browns.
Oh yeah, so that's a good pickup. I like it.
I've been stacking up. Let's see, like just I think Patriots for some reason are around in one of my leagues. Grabbed them. I think Jags I have in one of them for next week. They have the Titans. Just kind of been just targeting the best, what I think will be projected as the best defensive matchups, and just have like 2 or 3 on my bench at this point, which is nice.
Yeah, that's always a good strategy. At this point in the season, if you've locked in a playoff spot. Shane, I know you had mentioned it. I feel like we should bring it up and talk about it, but Cole's asked you, how do you feel about throwing a matchup to make sure that you have a better opportunity to succeed in the playoffs? If you're like looking at your potential matches, how do you feel about throwing a game, throwing a match, try to get a better playoff matchup?
A strong proponent of you do not mess with fantasy karma in that way. Fantasy is a real thing, in case you're wondering. It's alive, it's breathing, it's out there. I've seen way too many matchups happen where you think you're getting the easy matchup in round 1 and you end up getting blown out. I wouldn't jack with it.
Okay. We won't, but it was definitely a conversation.
Well, we don't have to, but if we could have, we would have.
Yeah, I mean, I was fine with it.
I would have overrode your decision on that, because in this specific instance, like that team is clear cut week over week performing higher than basically the entire league. Like there's a 3-headed monster in this league, and it's us and 2 others. And the 2 others actually, I think, have more points scored than us. And we've been pretty good as of recent, but the one team is like, it's very top heavy league. So like I am a firm believer in the fantasy gods, just like Shane O'Mac, but I also like will recognize that there are teams that are just vastly better, and there's data for the last 10 weeks that show that. And if we can position those two, if all we had to do was put in our bench and guarantee us to not have to play one of those two teams to the finals, I would have done it.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't have a problem with it.
We would be in the finals. Like, you're getting paid out. We already got paid out on the league. So
yeah, that's true. Either way, anyway, I just thought it was interesting and a fun topic right around this time of year. So, but let's get right into it. Week 14, players we like, players we don't like. Shane O'Mac, let's kick it off to you. Who's your green light quarterback for week 14?
So I like a couple guys, but I think the one streaming guy I think that you could plug in this week that I like, and if I was in a position, I would start him over a red light guy I've got for later, but I would not feel bad starting Trevor Lawrence this week. You've just seen kind of a big improvement fantasy-wise from him. He's been a top 7 quarterback the last 2 weeks. He's thrown 5 touchdowns in that span, and you're getting the rushing with him. You're getting like 25, 30 yards now in each of those games. And then this is a Colts defense that's bottom 10 in passing yards allowed. I think, and if Coles probably knows this because from the gambling side, I think this is one of the higher combined over-under 2. So,
yeah, it's up there.
I haven't looked at it yet.
Top 5 for sure. But yeah, it's funny. Right when I started talking shit about Trevor Lawrence, and I'm a Trevor Lawrence guy. I've defended him his entire career. But of course, 3 weeks ago, I talk about how Liam Cohen just seems to be taking the ball out of his hands and leaning on the running game, and then he's had his 2 best fantasy weeks back to back. Yeah, which has been nice because I own him in Dynasty, and I've always been a big supporter. I think he's extremely talented. It's just been I don't know how many offensive coordinators and head coaches he's been through. The Jaguars have kind of just been a disaster of an organization. How much is that on him? How much is it on, I guess if you just don't have a stable environment to grow in, it makes sense. But hopefully he's starting to settle into Cohen's system, and, they have weapons there for him, and they're a good team. I just don't know if they're a great team, but as long as he continues to progress, we should see something.
I just speaking big picture wise, I think Trevor Lawrence is going to stay there. I don't think they're going to be going away from him. I know that was a big topic this last offseason. It's when is Trevor going to show that he's actually worth that money in that contract?
But he was hurt last year. Like, they haven't gotten him into a comfortable situation at all. But I think they're smart enough to realize if you look at the NFL, there's some good quarterbacks, but if you don't have a guy that you can rely on, it starts to get pretty bad.
It's very true.
So he's getting all of his weapons back now. He's got Brian Thomas Jr. He's got Brenton Strange back. He's got Jakobi Meyers now, who's been like a full 3 weeks into the system, and he's really coming on.
Travis Hunter was playing really good before he got hurt, so I'm excited to see what that team looks like next year, fully healthy.
And I think I don't think they're going to be one of those teams that in the offseason people get really hard on, like the Bears. Everyone was just, I want a piece of the Bears offense, Ben Johnson. Like, I don't think the Jags are going to be that, so I think there's going to be a lot of value in them next offseason. They'll probably be the guys that I'm targeting. Brian Thomas will probably be a target of mine. Like, you got to think of it like the stock market too, like buying when people are down. Pittman was like one of the highest targets of mine this year. It's all about value. So I think Jags this next offseason are probably a team.
Some value there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. Shane, I like your pick though. I think he's definitely in play this week. I'm gonna dig a little deeper. Take a page out of Shane O'Mac's book.
You're digging deep like I do.
I'm digging deep. And this is a personal situation. I'm in a couple leagues. Drake May I have on a bye. I forget the other situation specifically, but I'm in need of a quarterback, and I'm looking on the waiver wire, and I'm like, who am I going to take? I'm picking up and starting in multiple leagues Tyrod Taylor. Look, playing Miami this week. They're at home in New York, New Jersey, whatever. But Tyrod Taylor, so far this year, he's played 3 full games. Out of those 3 full games, he has 2 top 10 finishes. In those top 10 finishes, he had 40 yards rushing, and he scored a rushing touchdown last game. Look, he's throwing the ball 30 times a game. He's getting the job done. And I think I'm gonna trust him this week in Miami. Miami has given up the 2nd most rushing yards to quarterbacks, and they're giving up the 4th most rushing touchdowns to quarterbacks. So the defense is susceptible to quarterback rushing, and Tyrod Taylor went. Huh?
Shane, your keyboard's pretty loud.
I know.
Is that Shane's?
I was making a note to ask you something about. Go ahead.
But anyway, Tyrod Taylor runs the ball well, and he's able to throw the ball. He's got A.D. Mitchell, who just made a splash appearance last week. Is really coming along. Who's the other guy? John Mechie over there on the Jets now. So look, I'm trusting Tyrod. I'm putting him on my green light list in case you're in a dire spot and you're looking for a guy to trust. And Tyrod's basically on the waiver wire everywhere you look. So he's my dig deep green light of the week.
So I'm curious, but where's the line of starting him? Like, are you starting him over Caleb Williams at Green Bay?
No, if I had Caleb Williams, I'm starting Caleb Williams over Tyrod Taylor. This is a specific situation where your quarterback's on a bye, and he's out of all the quarterbacks that are available on the waiver wire. Let me try to get some names of who I'm referencing.
That is a good segue, though, Shane Mack. My red light quarterback of the week is Caleb Williams.
Oh, okay. Talk your shit, man. Go ahead. You can talk.
I don't need to. I just the product on the field will be shown who the superior team is on Sunday. So because of that, I'm red lighting Caleb Williams. I'm green lighting Jordan Love.
How about a little pod bet, Mike? You want to place a little pod bet?
Lay it on.
All right. I think the Bears cover 5.5.
I mean, I think that the Packers win by 2 touchdowns and they sweep the season series.
No way.
Come on.
There's no way this Green Bay team could, just like last week. Philadelphia's beating any team by 3 scores. There's no way this Green Bay team's beating anybody by 2 scores.
No. You get the same team that lost to the Panthers, same team that lost to the Browns, same team that tied the Cowboys. They're not sweeping the Bears. Okay, first of all. We'll cook something up. There's a little pod bet in there somewhere. We'll cook something up.
Also, green light Bo Nix. I think he's starting to turn it on a little bit.
Okay.
The offense, it just has that many weapons that are just, they had to figure out where the chips fell with the offense, and I think they all kind of know their roles now. It looks like Harvey's stepping up with Dobbins out. I'd like to see them lean on him a little bit more. Jaleel and I guess Batty, whatever. He's a baddie. He's fine as like a third down.
I think they say bidet.
Bidet. Yeah, bidet. So he cleans buttholes for a living. I think he's like a pretty good third down back, or at least they seem to like him there. So I want to see that shift to more Harvey. I think you're just wasting time with Jaleel, but Evan Ingram's making big plays. Nix is just delivering. I think that offense is starting to catch a swing, which is really good. For them, I think they're going to have a home playoff. They're going to have a first round bye, and their defense is really good. I'd like to see that offense settle in, which it seems to have. Okay.
Yeah, I can get behind that. I think Bo Nix is really. I think this is kind of where they're going to start showing that they're going to be a serious force in the playoffs these last couple of weeks.
So. Just one of those offenses, you don't know where the fantasy points are really going to come from, but you can rely on the quarterback to have a pretty good day. But it's trying to pin how that offense is going to produce is very hard to do. I don't think anyone's going to be able to ever do that. They point to so many different weapons, but I think he has a top 10 week.
Okay. All right. Shane, what about red light quarterbacks? What do you got for this week?
Well, I told you to bench him last week, and you better bench Lamar Jackson again this week.
Whoa.
I told you to bench him against the Bengals, so I'm certainly not going to tell you to start him against There's something going on here, and I think it's injury related. He did not practice Wednesday. He was not. We're recording this on Thursday. He was not out there at practice on a Thursday. I don't think that he's going to miss this game. I just think there is more going on injury-wise than what the team is letting on. I mean, you're looking at the last 5 games. He has been QB 15, QB 29, QB 27, and QB 18. He's taken 12 sacks over those games. He's not running. He hasn't thrown a touchdown in 3 straight games. This matchup's not as great as last week and historically not great against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's been better lately over the last 3 games, only giving up 180 yards passing. And just if you look at his regular season games against Pittsburgh, he's not had a lot of big games against them.
No, yeah, that makes sense. He was on my short list this week, and it just hasn't been great with Lamar. So
No.
I'd be very weary of that as well.
I really wish, Shana Mac, you doubled down on your take last week because I remember asking you, would you start Trevor Lawrence over Lamar?
Yeah,
and
I know.
And you didn't go as far as to saying that, and I wish you did because I would be in the playoffs in our dynasty league.
Yep. And so this week I would start Trevor Lawrence and Jakobi Brissett both over Lamar.
Yeah.
Brisket himself. Love that. I love that. That could be a sneaky high-scoring game with the Rams and Brissett.
That was so funny though, Shane. I was looking at that playoff. Like I would have won. I would have made the playoffs, and it looks. I still can, but I'm on the outside looking in at this point. But I remember looking at if I would have started Lawrence over Lamar, and then I was thinking about the episode. I was like,
yep.
But it would have been hard for me to do that.
I saw some video online, whether it was TikTok or Twitter or something. It was an interesting thing, and I'd love to get your guys' opinion on it. It's called the Hot Tub Time Machine for fantasy football.
Movie.
Have you guys?
Okay.
So at the end of the season, at the end of the final week, so week 14, right as the games conclude, every manager is allowed to submit one redo as far as a benching or starting. So you pick one matchup where you had a bench player score like 35 points, and you can swap them out for a certain player. It's completely anonymous. No team knows what other team's going to be doing, and you submit one of those things. And once those are submitted to the commissioner, he makes the adjustments, and boom, the final settings are set. How do you guys feel about that?
Hate it. It's idiotic.
You don't like it? Shane,
it's a fun TikTok video, but I would hate that
that's the worst thing I've ever heard in fantasy football. There's good things that you hear and they're funny and you laugh about them, and then there's some that you just would rather not have heard and just immediately have resentment towards everyone in that league. That's where I stand.
I thought it was comical. I was like, that's fun.
To make this fun, Hot Tub Time Machine, the movie, is one of the most underrated comedies. And another one I put on that list is MacGruber. I want to hear one from both of you.
Oh my God. MacGruber? Really?
Underrated comedy.
I think that is fairly poorly rated. Shane, what do you got?
Do you like MacGruber, Shane?
MacGruber's not bad. Underrated, I would say. I'm blanking on the name. The Will Ferrell semi-pro, and Blades of Glory. I'm switching it. Blades of Glory.
Okay.
Those are definitely not highly rated for Will Ferrell movies.
Blades of Glory.
I agree.
But those are definitely very funny. My underrated comedy is going to be Benchwarmers. I think Benchwarmers, for me, every time I see that on TV, I'll leave it on and watch it and chuckle. That's my pick.
I think we've always informally done this, but I think we need to do it a little bit more formal next year of having a segment about TV/movies.
I'm cool with that because Coles, exactly how I spend my free time is a lot of television and movies.
But that's something that we can all talk about at a pretty good level and give like audience recommendations, and everyone's always looking for show recs.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Rex.
So
we need to evolve into that potentially this offseason.
Okay, I like it. I like that direction. I am down, and I'll make note of that. Let me get my red light quarterback out for Week 14, and that is going to be Justin Herbert versus the Eagles. It's the Monday Night Football game. There's a couple reasons why you need to put him on the bench. He hurt his hand last week, and apparently he needed surgery. I didn't see that come through, but I saw that today when I was looking him up. They consider him day to day, so he's got a questionable tag. Look, you can't trust it. Even if he does play, you got to get somebody else in. I'm sure
he's going to play.
Okay, well, if he does play, I'm not starting him. He's failed to score more than 14.7 fantasy points in 3 straight games. And with that injury, I know it's not his throwing hand. I just think this is a tough matchup against the Eagles, and I think
he's made some guard for him, and he's going to play.
Yeah, he'll be out of the shotgun probably almost every play, I bet.
Yeah. I'm looking to go elsewhere than Herbert this week. So,
are you going to go Marcus Mariota?
I don't mind Marcus Mariota. He's definitely. I was looking for him in the league that I have Drake May, and he was gone. He got picked up last week. He's been riding that waiver wire for quite some time. But anyway.
I went extremely wide receiver heavy this year in drafts, and it's done very well for me. I just like some of the running backs late, but because of that, I just have a plethora of wide receivers and that later in the season, I just don't need 8 receivers. And I don't remember exactly. I had Drake May in a league and needed a quarterback. For some reason, Joe Burrow was out there still. So I picked him up, put him on my IR, but I had to drop someone, and it was going to be someone that was I don't need 8 wide receivers. So I dropped Terry McLaurin because Mariota's a quarterback. That offense sucks. I just kind of think of them as a dead team, pretty much. And I dropped McLaurin, and then he had that game that he had this past week. So someone lucked out on getting a free McLaurin, but again, I still stand by that move. I just there was probably some other guys I could have dropped like Roma Dunze, but I just didn't want him to put it back together. I was weighing those pros, and I actually dropped Terry McLaurin in the league.
Funny you say that. I recently picked up Terry McLaurin in the league. Somebody dropped him, and I was lucky enough to grab him in one of the leagues. So can understand from the other side of the fence on that one.
Yeah.
I think we all covered our red light quarterbacks. We'll move on to running backs. Shane O'Mac, who's your green light running back for Week 14?
I'm going with Quinshon Judkins. I just think this is a perfect setup for him. He has big games when they are leading or in a close matchup. I expect Cleveland to at least be, tied within 3 or leading most of this game playing at home against the Titans. They've allowed the second most rushing touchdowns in the league. Their bottom 10 defense and fantasy points allowed. I just think this is setting up probably for he gets his highest rushing attempt game of the season, and he should probably with 25 touches, he should easily get you 100 total yards and a touchdown or 2.
Yeah, they love to feed him the ball. So I love that. Coles, what do you got for green light running back?
I'll go Breece Hall. I know you mentioned Tyrod. I like him too, but just kind of like what Shane said, that this game just sets up well for them. I think Jets at home against Miami is a game that sets up well. Breece Hall's, we talked about his talent last week, so I'll just double down on that and put him as my green light running back.
Yeah,
I like him in that Judkins territory. It's kind of, I see those as a parallel. You could echo a lot of the sentiment that Shane O'Mac said for Judkins as for Breece in this matchup.
Yeah, especially Breece's receiving ability too. He gets it done in the air a lot. So, I liked both those picks. I'm going to go with RJ Harvey at the Raiders. Harvey scored 2 touchdowns last week, over 20 points against who did they play last week?
Commies.
Yeah, the Commies. Look, this week he's got the Raiders. Another good matchup for him. their defense has given up since week 9. 4 different running backs scored 16-plus points, and even Kamani Vidal last week had over a 20-point game. So I think R.J. Harvey is set up for a big game this week.
Vidal out of nowhere, man. I think we even talked about him on last week's episode where I was like, he's not a running back that's in the NFL.
Yeah, and he goes out there and puts up a big game. But I don't know with going on with Amari and Hampton. Have you guys heard anything? Is he playing this week? Is he trending towards playing? I haven't. I think
he plays this week. Yeah, I think he's trending. He's been out there practicing, so I would be surprised if he does not play.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I mean, we all know what the Bears running backs did to the Eagles last week, so maybe Kamani Vidal or Amari and Hampton could have a big game as well. We'll see. All right. Well, that does it for green light running backs. We'll move over to red light running backs.
Another great segue. Red light running backs, DeAndre Swift and Monangai. Stay far away. Put them on your bench.
Monangai dealing with an ankle injury. He's listed as questionable for the game this week.
That would make it even worse for Swift. I think Monangai does play because of how high the stakes are in this game. But the Packers defense in Lambeau is going to remind the Bears who their little brother is and just completely beat the shit out of them.
I will not dignify a response to that because I can't tell if you're being serious or just trolling me, which you love to do. Moving on, red light running back for week 14. My red light running back is going to be Kenneth Walker at the Falcons. Look, Walker continues to lose red zone touches to Charbonnet. It really puts a cap on his ceiling for fantasy football. He's failed to score 12 points in 8 out of his 12 games. Under 12 points. I don't have him in many leagues. If I did, I would be looking to sub him out. You just can't trust him.
Yeah.
What do you got, Shane Mack?
He's ranked consensus RB21 for the week, but I would bench Woody Marks. I don't like this matchup. Like Kansas City plays much tougher at home. I think this is a low scoring output. He's scored fewer than 8 points in 3 straight games. Kansas City's top 10 in fewest fantasy points allowed to the position. I think there's guys, waiver wire guys you could get and start and picked up in the last 2 weeks, like Zonovan Knight. I would start, if Aaron Jones doesn't play this week, I'd start Jordan Mason over him. Guys like that.
Devin Neal,
possibly, yeah, at Tampa.
So yes, I need this to not be one of those situations.
No, I would start Devin Neal over Woody Marks. Yes.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, all right.
Because the other thing is Marks. He doesn't get any production in the receiving game.
He doesn't do anything. Period.
Yeah, at least Neal.
He only does things. He only does things when you put him on your bench, and then he goes off for 20, and you're trying to figure out how he got 20, and you still don't know. That's Woody Mark for me in about every league.
Yeah, we have him, and it's been a struggle as to figure out when to play him and when not to. It's been tough. Let's go ahead and move on to wide receivers. Shane O'Mac, give us your green light wide receiver for week 14.
I'm not done with Neal though. Actually,
is going back to Neal
because he's someone I need to figure out because he could be big for me. Is Kamara playing?
He's not playing. No.
So he's not playing. So it's Neal's backfield.
No.
And when's Kamara's return table?
They said week to week, but I wouldn't be surprised if they shut him down. Honestly,
I know that's like if that's what happens, then I should go ahead and grab him in every league.
Yes.
That he's available.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Moving on to wide receiver calls. Are you good? Moving on. You want to talk any more about?
Yeah. Okay, I'm just gonna go and pick up Neal.
Yeah, put him in.
All right, Shane O'Mac, hit me with your green light wide receiver for week 14. Who do you like?
Well, it's my
Shane O'Mac, shocker of the week.
Whoa, buddy.
I know, and I just want this, on it's recorded. It's that we recording this on a Thursday, but I'm gonna give you guys a little side dish of Isaac TeSlaa this week to partake in. I don't think St. Brown plays in the Thursday night game.
Okay.
I think this is going to set up for a 15 PPR point game for him this week. I mean, when when St. Brown left last week, he was playing over 90% snaps. He had 35 yards and a touchdown. He has had 6 catches on the year. 3 of them have been for touchdowns. I think he is going to get looked to often and a lot in this game.
Okay.
I feel like this is going to be a 6-catch game or so for the score.
Give me a yardage line.
I like 6 for 90 and a score.
Oh.
I
You hear
like
that, Coles?
I like
Maybe
it.
maybe do a little ladder tonight, huh? Maybe do a little ladder tonight, huh? I like it. All right, cool. Shane and Max shock of the week. Isaac TeSlaa.
TeSlaa, a little side.
Can we just call him TeSlaa? As a community, can we just agree to call him TeSlaa?
Yeah, I'm not going to call him anything else. It's TeSlaa.
Okay, good.
It's like Charbonneau.
Charbonneau, yeah.
Chaby. You could get Isaac TeSlaa 90+ at 6-1 odds currently.
Ooh, I like those odds for that.
You can get TeSlaa 6 catches, 6.2-1 odds.
Maybe parlay the 2 of those. Six for 90. Anyway, I like where your head's at, Shane.
It gets added in, so it's only 9-1.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Not the same.
I like where your head's at, though. Love the shocker of the week. The game is tonight. We're gonna try to get this episode out right away. And TeSlaa is look. I mean, he wasn't overly active last week, but he's definitely has the opportunity this week against a defense that is very susceptible to the pass. So I think you're on the right track there.
I think he was active though last week once Brown went down. I forget what his snap rate and his target rate was, but it was high, and that's why a lot of people are projecting the huge game.
Yeah, over 90% of the snaps after he left.
Okay, well there you go. Okay, all right. All right, Coles, what do you got for green light wide receiver? And is it a Bears wide receiver or no?
Green or red?
Green light, Mike. Green light.
Bears receivers.
Definitely not a Bears receiver. Let's go Jakobi Meyers.
Oh, yeah, I like that. Yep.
I like that game being a shootout. You see Meyers, he's the kind of guy that's just a sneaky great receiver. I think even when he came over to the Jaguars, some of the league was or some of the fan sentiment there was Jakobi, nah. And last week, I think he had a 40-yard snag. Ended up getting
50
on 50-yard snag. Ended up getting the touchdown on the drive. He's that weird can play anywhere. He can play the slot, and he can get you. He has a pretty high floor with his reception ability, and then he's just always figures out a way to get in space and score a touchdown. And he has the big play ability. So it's just he seems like he's so versatile. Which should come to play in a massive game at home, in a game where there should be a lot of points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That touchdown we needed it as the first touchdown score. That was pretty electric when he scored that touchdown. So yeah, I like that. I mean, my ex best friend Jakobi Meyers getting the.
He was your best friend.
Yeah, he was at one point referred to for that season as my best friend. So.
Honorable mention, green light, Dontavian Wicks. He probably has 2 touchdowns in this game. Packers probably score 40+. So give me Wicks.
Yeah, I mean, good segue. I was going to green light Christian Watson against the Bears defense. Look, I'm not some homer that thinks the Bears defense is amazing, because it's not. They give takeaways, but they also give up a lot of yardage and a lot of catches. What's up, dog? Oh, there's a yawn. Tired boy. But yeah, Christian Watson has been red hot since coming back to the Packers offense, scoring 18 plus points in 2 of his last 3 games, including on Thanksgiving Day, that 80-yard bomb that he got. But look, Christian Watson's been a stud since he came back, and I think that his production continues against the Bears defense that is very susceptible to his type of receiver.
Yep.
So.
Deep balls, baby. Jordan Love loves the deep ball. He's going to take his shots.
And might throw a couple picks too. We'll see what happens. But anyway, let's move over to red light wide receivers. Shane O'Mac, what do you got for red light? Who are you pumping the brakes on?
This is a personal sit for me because in the league where I've got to win this week, I am benching DK Metcalf. And, I picked up off the waivers Alec Pierce to start over him. DK's kind of like Lamar. Like, I can't trust him. Like, he's been under 10 points in 4 of his last 5. He hasn't scored a touchdown in that span. The Baltimore defense is getting better and healthier over the last 3 weeks. Even when he's been great, he still hasn't caught. I looked at his game logs. He's never caught more than 5 passes in any game. So you're banking the big play scores for him. That has to happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, I feel like DK has been a mainstay for red lights. I feel like we've talked about him over any other receiver as far as red lights go, and rightfully so. I mean, I don't understand exactly what the deal is with Rodgers and him, or just Rodgers being able to spread the ball around, or Mason Rudolph not being good enough.
Arthur Smith.
But the consensus rankings right now is wide receiver 25s. That's a start in 3 wide receiver leagues.
There's a common denominator to all of the stars that we have been frustrated about over the last 5 years, and it's Arthur Smith.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong when you say that. So that's fair. Look, my red light wide receiver, look, it's not his fault. Okay. This guy I'm going to talk about, it's not his fault. Justin Jefferson.
Oh, wow.
Taking on the Commanders. Taking on the Commanders. It's not his fault. Look, no. I am loving, and when I say loving, I wake up in the morning, I'm like, let me go stroll through Twitter. Let me go stroll through X and see all these JJ McCarthy memes, because there's new ones on a daily basis, and it just feeds my soul. I love it. I love to see it. And JJ McCarthy is coming back after the ghost phantom concussion that he suffered the week prior, after Brosmer went in and had a terrible game. But Justin Jefferson, look, last 4 games, 45 wide receivers have scored more points than him. He is just it's so hard, because the league I have him in, I'm going to bench him. I don't know who for yet, but I am going to bench him. I need to get a win in that league, and I just cannot rely on Justin Jefferson. Although the Commanders' defense isn't great, it's a good matchup. Can JJ somehow turn it around and surprise everybody and play like the one time he did in the 4th quarter against the Bears? Maybe he'll show up, but I'm not banking on that to happen.
No. Benching for Michael Wilson. That's who you benching for.
Oh, okay. All right. I can get behind that.
Harrison's
I don't have
not
Michael Wilson.
Harrison's not going to play this
or
week.
Jakobi Meyers.
Or
Jakobi Meyers. I like it. Okay. All right, Coles. What do you got for red light wide receiver? And let me guess, Roma Dunze, DJ Moore. What do you got?
Sure, put them on there. But I was going to do Texans wide receivers. And I mean, maybe Nico Collins has a sneaky good day, but I could see him getting just a 5 for 50 type of day, which you would expect. You'd want more from your wide receiver 1, but I think just Chiefs at home, it's going to be a game that it's going to be a disgusting game that the Chiefs just win by 3. It's going to be 16-7 game or something like
Mhm.
that. So because of that, I want to stay away from Woody Marks. I want to stay away from everyone on the Texans. We've seen this game before. And it's going to be just to grind it out. I think Mahomes is going to put together those drives, those just exhausting drives where they're on the field for 8 minutes. And they're going to win a low-scoring, disgusting game. So, Texans.
Yeah, Texans, red light team of the week, Texans. I like it. I can get behind it. I'm all good there. Moving on to tight ends. We're all good to move on?
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. Shane O'Mac, green light tight end for week 14. Who do you like this week? Tell me why.
I think he's out there in tons of leagues. I even picked him up in our Fantasy Roadshow league last week. I'd go get Darren Waller and plug him in.
The Walrus?
The Walrus, plug him in. I mean, he came back from this pectoral injury last week, and he went for almost 50 yards receiving. I mean, he was like inches away from a touchdown because couldn't get both of the feet in, I saw. But, you look at the beginning of the year, like he had 4 touchdowns in 5 games. He is the number 2 receiving option right now for Miami. And we just saw the Jets. I mean, they gave up a massive game. Kyle Pitts catch-wise and yardage-wise. I think this is one where he puts up like 6 for 50 and a touchdown.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I'm cool with that. I like Darren Waller this week. Coles, what do you got?
I like Pitts again. Brenton Strange is a guy I've been talking about. I think he showed out again last week. He's just a pass-catching monster. Newly paid Mark Andrews.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him getting in the end zone. I think that contract pretty clearly shows that he's their tight end, and likely whose deal's up, he's going to be on the free agent market.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see them just feed Andrews, especially in the red zone. I think, I agree with Shane that Lamar is a huge concern at this point, but I think that the Steelers are just not a good football team, and I do think the Ravens will win, and I think they'll score a little bit. I don't know, somewhere in the 20s, enough to get Mark Andrews at least a touchdown. And let me go Gadsden showing out in prime time against the Eagles. Zach Ertz, huge 10-catch week last week.
Yeah.
Green light Zach Ertz. And Colston Loveland.
Hey,
we're green lighting a bear.
I just love Colston Loveland. So
Let's go.
give
I
me
do
Colston
too.
Loveland.
I do
think
too.
he's still he's sneakily, he's starting to have a good end of the season, and as they ramp up for playoffs, they're going to need him to kind of explode, and I think it's coming in a divisional game where they're trying to find offense any way they can. I could see him having a sneaky big game.
Yeah, I think Ben Johnson's going to go deep in his bag this week in this divisional matchup. He really wants this win, and that involves scheming up some plays for Colston Loveland. So,
yeah, as big of a load that Caleb can handle, BJ will give it to him.
Yeah, he sure can handle a big load, can't he?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so in a 30-point blowout loss, I think Loveland has.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, you mentioned the guy that I was going to talk about was Kyle Pitts. He's been tough to trust. I think single-digit points in 4 of the last 5 games. But the Jets do allow the 5th most receiving touchdowns to tight ends. So I think there's a good chance maybe Pitts finds the end zone sometime this weekend. But I do like him in this matchup. I think I'd be trusting Pitts.
Jeez, it has been that bad.
Single digits.
25, 24, 36, 32. Pops off from tight end 5. Yeah, I think he has another good game.
I think so too. So
And I would say,
I'd be
if you're
piggybacking
really
that.
hurting, if Dalton Kincaid doesn't play, go get Dawson Knox and plug him in. He gets the magic pill this week that's called the Cincinnati Bengals for tight ends. And even Dawson Knox can have a top 10 tight end finish this week.
Those magic pills or something.
Shane
else,
O'Mac's,
Love the magic
Shane
pills.
O'Mac's blue chew of the day.
Yeah, the blue chew pill of the day.
Yeah, we didn't mention any Bengals or Bills, so I'm gonna go ahead and just make that my green light game of the week.
I love that.
Yep, that's a good one.
Start all of them. I think the other one is tonight. I think it's Cowboys Lions, and I think that segues into getting Shane O'Mac's breakdown for the Cowboys game this week.
I think it's so tough. So they haven't beaten beat a great team on the road, but I am willing to say this: if they win tonight, they will win out the rest of the year and win the division. Not only make the play, but win the division.
Yes.
So tonight is the magic game. If they win tonight, they close out 5 straight wins, win the division. Philly's gonna slip up.
Look, I'm back in the Cowboys here in this game. I just there's so many things wrong with the Lions right now. Being without Amon-Ra potentially, Coles likes to call Coach O, calling plays, and Dan Campbell,
NFL Coach O.
NFL Coach O. Look, it's just the Cowboys are rolling on all cylinders, and I do think the Cowboys win tonight.
I want them to very badly, but it's so hard for me to not back the Lions here in this situation at home.
I know.
Like, everyone's selling their Lions stock.
Mm-hmm.
So just because of the way the NFL is historically, like, it's a bad spot for the Cowboys, but like everything that Shane just said, like, if they're going to make noise this year, it's going to happen tonight. Yeah. And they have been making noise the last couple of weeks, or at least trending in that direction. So
I'd say so.
And to be honest, like, I think Dak knows he's never going to have this offense again. Like, as much as you want to see CD and Pickens for the extent of their careers, like, there's no fucking way the Cowboys re-sign Pickens. Like,
they'll definitely re-signing him, I bet.
No chance,
Definitely.
Dude. You can't afford to.
No, they will. They will, for sure. 100% they will re-sign him.
I would be shocked if they did. I think he goes to like a Chargers or a team that's in desperate need of a wide receiver one.
I think I ride with Shane on this one. I think the Cowboys are going to figure out a way to do it.
They will.
I think he's just been the X factor that's really brought their season alive. And to me, Jerry Jones is going to want to lock him in, and will do it any way he can.
$30 million a year.
Yeah, I think you can do that in Madden. I do, but
you can manipulate contracts in the cap.
Oh yeah, the salary cap is made up. So I'm right with Shane on that one. I think Pickens will be a Dallas Cowboy next year.
And honestly, I would not even been for that, like when they made the trade, but I've just seen a different attitude and him and CD's relationship and Dak.
Oh yeah.
He's just
because it's Madden, but in order to do that long term, it's going to have to be like Pickens taking a franchise tag, or it's going to have to be CD giving up his money and Dak giving up his money. But like, then you can do it kind of like Joe Burrow did with Chase and Higgins. But we've seen the type of mess that's done to the Bengals. Like, they haven't been able. You can't pay that many big weapons on offense and then the rest of your team falling into line. It's just, that's not their line's going to be shit. Their defense is going to be shit. Like, it's not. Let's put it this way: it's not the smart move to do that.
I would agree with that
at all. So I'd be shocked. But
it'll actually give them more cap room for next year when they do sign into a new contract. The way they'll structure it that first year, it won't be a big hit the first year. It'll
catch up.
Yeah, it'll catch up down the road, but for a year or two, it'll be all right.
Yeah. All right, let's finish up this episode with red light tight ends. Shane, is there anybody that you don't like this week for week 14?
You got to get away if you still got him from Dallas Goedert. I mean, it's been a rough month. Like, I think he's averaged like 3 for 25 over the last month. He scored fewer than 5 points in 3 straight matchups. If you've got him sitting there, like, that's a guy like I'm dropping for Darren Waller. great. I'd drop in for Dawson Knox if we don't see Dalton Kincaid.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I can get behind that.
Yeah, that offense is a mess. What's been like? I don't remember 2 years ago when they were looked outstanding, and then the wheels just fell off, and they just couldn't figure out how to win games, and looked like a complete mess. I think we're pretty close to seeing the wheels completely fall off of this team. It's crazy how they go through these spurts, but I just remember the Eagles were like dominant, and then the wheels fell off, and they were playing like the Bucks, which were like a bad Bucks team at the time in the playoffs, and it was like the most sure bet of all time. Like, there's no way the Eagles could win a playoff game right now. I'm scared that's what we're seeing with them again this year. It makes zero sense.
I mean, you're right. It does not make sense at all because they have so much talent on both sides of the ball. I mean, their defense is still filled with all those studs. And for some reason, it just hasn't been working out for them. So my red light for week 14 is going to be Evan Engram. Look, he had a good week last week, scored 13.9 points. But in the previous 6 games before that, it's just been a single digits. It's a good matchup on paper. I'm sorry, it's not a good matchup on paper against the Raiders. They defend the tight end pretty well. Only one tight end has scored more than 11 points against them in the entire season. So I just Evan Engram isn't really a big main piece to this offense. So I'm looking to veer away from Evan Engram.
Yep.
Good with that, Shane?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Coles, I know you had a big long list of tight ends. I know you don't usually like to red light any, but is there any?
I'm not red lighting any. I'll green light John Fitzpatrick. He's a tight end for the for the Green Bay Packers.
Oh yeah.
He has 0 catches last week, 1 catch for 11 yards the week before, and 1 catch for 5 yards the week. He's got 7 catches on the season.
Oh, so you're going to green light him against the Bears?
Yeah, I think he scores 2 touchdowns in this game.
Yeah.
Okay.
What
All right,
was his name again? What was his name?
John Fitzpatrick.
John Fitzpatrick.
I feel like you just made that up. I feel like you just made up a person and came out with that stat line. John Jacob Jingleheimer Schmidt. He's going to do really good this week. Anyway. I think that about does it. That concludes our week 14 red light, green light episode. Look, I hope all you guys make the playoffs. Let us know if you guys have any other questions. Hit us up on Twitter. Ask us anytime. And other than that, we appreciate you joining. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel. Root for Syracuse basketball. They just upset
Tennessee.
Just upset Tennessee. College basketball going strong. Maybe
if you have time this Sunday, we do a start sit Sunday morning. I know it's a big weekend for teams, a high leverage weekend for teams, do or die. So maybe we pop in Sunday morning, see if anyone's out and about looking for start sit questions.
Sure. I mean, I have nothing on my slate for Sunday morning, so I'm good to go if you are. And we'll see if anybody out there needs some help.
Porter, if you're listening, I will be watching for that Dallas Cowboys shout outs in your Porter's picks this week, buddy.
Yeah, I hope you like that Shane O'Mac shout out last week. We recorded an episode last week, but for some reason it just wouldn't load. And no matter how many times I tried to redo it, re-download it, re-upload it, it was just crapshoot. So I'm hoping this episode is a little different and we get it out to you guys right away.
Yeah, I'm glad it didn't post because I didn't say anything bad about the Bears last week, but this week it's going to be a bad one.
Just like it was supposed to be against the Vikings, the Steelers, the Eagles. 0% chance to win those games, 0% chance to win these games. Shane, who do you think? Do you think the Bears have a chance to win in Lambeau? What's your unbiased opinion about the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers?
Well, I do know they won't lose by more than a touchdown. I do know that for sure.
Okay.
Be within 6 or 7.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Will they win?
I feel like no. I think Green Bay at home wins. I think they split the series, so they've got what 2 in the next 3 weeks.
Very
Yeah,
political of you.
They split. They split. Home and home. It's a win.
yeah. I look. I mean, if you want me to mention, I just think the Bears are due for a bad game. It's in Lambeau. This is going to be a very tough one. I do think the Bears are capable, and if they're able to run the ball even remotely the way they were last week, it could be a long day for Green Bay. So we'll see what happens. I'm hopeful, although I'm not betting the house on the Bears. Huh?
Do you think the Bears are going to lose then?
I would say yes. I think the Bears will end up losing, but I am hopeful and I am going to be rooting for them to win. I will put a little bit of money on the money line, just to have fun with it. But I do think, you know what I might do actually? I might take the Packers -5.5. I did that last week. A little happiness hedge. I did that last week against the Philadelphia Eagles. Didn't work out well for me, but they won and I was happy. So I'm going to do the same thing for the Packers and hope for the best because I do think the Bears are capable of winning. That's my Bears rant. And Cole's fuck you for riling me up today about the Bears talk.
I'll put Harold Fannin on my green light as well.
Okay.
All right. Also, for Sunday morning, we're at that time of the PSA. Check the weather, folks.
Oh,
Check the weather.
Shane, we need you to come on Sunday morning. Give us the weather updates.
Weather.
Even if it's for 5 minutes.
If you're not following, follow Kevin Roth on Twitter. He is the weather fantasy expert. Remember his handle offhand, but you can look him up. Kevin Roth, that's your expert on Twitter to follow for weather updates.
Okay. All right. Shout out Kevin Roth. All right. We're going to end it here. Thank you guys very much. You guys are the best. Roadies, Coles, you look like you want to say something.
I mean, most people I know follow weather women. Shane O'Mac follows weather men.
Yeah. It's called weather men, not weather women.
All right. You sexist pig. Thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, you guys are the best. And be a lookout 10:30 Central Standard Time for Sunday start sit. Me and Coles, maybe Shane makes an appearance and give us a weather update. That would be much appreciated.
Shane O'Mac will be on the tennis courts. So.
Oh, Shane O'Mac dishing out them balls. Okay. All right.
Fantasy trucker loves Somalians.
All right. You guys are the best. Buckle up.